December 2003, auditors discovered that 3.95 billion euros didn't exist. Not stolen, not hidden. It simply never existed. The bank account was fake, the documents were forged, and for 15 years nobody noticed. This is how Parmalat fooled the entire world and why they called it Europe's Enron. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy true crime stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Calisto Tanzi started with one small dairy shop in Parma, Italy in 1961. By the 1990s, Parmalat was a global giant, selling milk in 30 countries, sponsoring Formula One racing, owning the Parma Football Club. The guy from the small town had built a 7 billion euro empire, but behind the success was a secret. Tanzi had been losing money for years, failed investments in tourism, a TV station that hemorrhaged cash. By the late 1990s, Parmalat was drowning in debt it couldn't pay back. So Tanzi did something desperate. Instead of admitting failure, he made the debt disappear on paper. Here's where it gets insane. Tanzi and his CFO, Fausto Tana, created fake companies, hundreds of them. Offshore shell companies in the Cayman Islands, the Netherlands Antilles, places regulators couldn't easily track. Then they used these fake companies to create fake sales. Parmalat would sell milk to its own shell company. The shell company would send back fake invoices. Parmalat would record it as real revenue. Money that never moved, sales that never happened. And the debt? They hid it in those same offshore accounts, making it look like the company had billions in cash reserves when it actually had billions in losses. The craziest part? Their auditors signed off on everything. This scandal shocked Italy, but it exposed how broken corporate oversight was everywhere. Let's know where you're from in the comments. I'm curious how global this audience really is. So how did they fool everyone for 15 years? First, complexity. They created over 200 subsidiaries across dozens of countries. The web was so tangled that auditors couldn't trace the money flows. Every time someone got close, Tanzi would point them to another shell company in another country. Second, fake documents. When Bank of America needed to confirm that 3.95 billion euro account, Parmalat's lawyers forged a letter on fake Bank of America letterhead with a fake signature and sent it to the auditors. Nobody called the bank to verify. Third, Italy's weak regulatory system. Italian accounting rules in the early 2000s were flexible. Companies could self-report a lot of their financials. Enforcement was minimal. Parmalat exploited every loophole. And fourth, reputation. Parmalat was a beloved Italian brand, the milk in everyone's fridge, the sponsor of their favorite football team. Nobody wanted to believe that Calisto Tanzi, this humble guy from Parma, was lying. So they didn't look too hard, but you can't fake money forever. By 2003, Parmalat owed 14 billion euros. The company needed to make a bond payment, real cash, not fake accounts, and they couldn't. In November, they tried to raise 300 million euros. Investors started asking questions. Why does a company with billions in cash need to borrow money? The CFO gave a confusing answer. Red flags everywhere. Auditors finally demanded proof of that 3.95 billion euro Cayman Islands account. Parmalat sent the forged Bank of America letter. But this time, the auditors called the bank directly. Bank of America said, "We've never heard of this account." Everything collapsed in 72 hours. December 27, 2003. Parmalat declared bankruptcy, 14 billion euros in debt. 14 billion that had been hidden in fake companies for over a decade. Calisto Tanzi was arrested. He admitted everything. Told investigators he'd been falsifying accounts since the 1980s. He'd used company money to cover losses in his other failing businesses. He forged documents, bribed officials, lied to investors, employees, and his own family. The fallout was massive. 36,000 employees lost their jobs. Over 100,000 small investors, mostly Italian retirees who trusted the company, lost their life savings. Parmalat's auditors, Grant Thornton and Deloitte, faced lawsuits for missing the fraud. Tanzi was sentenced to 18 years in prison, later reduced to 10. He served time, was released, and lived quietly until his death in 2023. The Parmalat scandal changed everything. Italy overhauled its corporate governance laws. The EU tightened auditing rules. But here's the thing. This wasn't a complicated scheme. It was fake bank accounts, forged letters, and shell companies. Basic fraud. It worked because people didn't ask the right questions. Parmalat still exists today, restructured and smaller. But the name is forever linked to one of Europe's biggest lies, a reminder that sometimes the milk you're drinking isn't as clean as it looks. If you want more stories about the biggest frauds, scams, and cons in history, hit that subscribe button. Because trust me, this is just the beginning.